smooth commuting.
We are listening to Calgarians and making sure we understand how precious their time is.
Turning to technology to improve traffic congestion and drive times. Plus, Calgary's livability ranking plummets. What's behind the drastic drop? And vole holes popping up in Calgary. Tips on removing the rodents before they tear up your yard.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Camilla Di Giuseppe.
Good afternoon. The city is tapping into newer technology like drones and artificial intelligence to help with Calgary traffic and getting you to your destination a little more smoothly. Stephanie Thomas joins us now from Southland and McLeod Trail. Steph, Calgary is the first city in Canada to use these technologies.
That's right, Camilla. And behind me, this intersection, McLeod and Southland, is actually one of several that's being monitored in real time at the City of Calgary's Traffic Management Center. Operators can look and see and change the signals to help improve the flow of traffic, but they're using more technology to augment that. Now, there are 1,300 traffic signals and 200 cameras set up around city roads. Virtual reality headset is being used so that operators manage traffic in real time and also feel like they're in the intersection itself. Drones are also being used by the City of Calgary, and the city's using artificial intelligence or AI to do traffic counting to monitor roadways, and it'll eventually provide insight on infrastructure upgrades and maintenance. There are also drones flying around primarily near the Stampede grounds right now, but they're going to be doing things like monitoring for crowd control in the core, and also looking for any issues, crashes, or snarls that they can report to emergency or first responders.
It gives us, our technicians and engineers more information, real-time information to make decisions in a real-time manner.
Camilla, the city says that all this technology was relatively cheap, that it cost about $10,000 to bring all that tech with the AI, the drones, and the virtual reality headset online, and it hopes to expand by improving monitoring to another 10 to 15 intersections next year. Back to you.
All right, Stephanie, thank you. The cost of fuel is going up and is expected to rise even more due to growing tension in the Middle East. Attacks between Israel and Iran elevate the risk of an impact to the amount of oil shipped from the region or produced by Iran. So companies try to brace for the changes by stockpiling oil now. Doing that drives up the price. Analysts at Gas Buddies say over the next week or two, gas prices could go up anywhere from about 5 to 10 cents a liter.
We had already seen oil prices going up prior to the Middle East tensions because of the optimism over a U.S. and China trade deal that sent oil prices rising. And then last Friday, after Israel attacked Iran, we've seen the price of oil jumping even more considerably, and that is set to push gas prices and diesel up significantly in the days ahead.
The average price of gas in Calgary is $1.31 per liter, according to Gas Buddy. That's up 3 cents compared to last week. Over the next couple of weeks, it could rise to over $1.40 a liter. Let's bring in Danielle now with a first look at the weather. Yikes! Not to mention, though, we had some thunderstorm watches and warnings. Now we're back to a watch.
Yeah, back to a watch. And there is some active weather happening. Some storms looking like they have a decent hail core. I'm going to show you where that is, but Calgary is not looking at any storms in the area at this point or anything tracking towards Calgary, but Calgary is under a severe thunderstorm watch because there is the potential over these next few hours. In the yellow, that's the severe thunderstorm watch, and you can see that orange blob there by Lomond, and that's where we have the warning in place. I want to pop in the radar here, and you can see we don't have anything tracking right now towards Calgary, but if something does, it could blow up pretty fast. So again, these are the storms we take seriously for today because a lot of ingredients are in place. There's that wave of storms north of Bassano there, and just to zoom in, that purple cell you can see just north of Bassano is where we have a hail core cell. Toonie size hail is possible with this, plus very strong wind gusts. So heads up, Gem, Malo, Ferger, that's where we're looking at this tracking towards, and potentially even Duchess. All right, 21 degrees in Calgary right now, gusts 35 kilometers per hour. It's fairly quiet here, and sun and clouds. out and quite nice, but again, there is the risk of thunderstorm activity up until about 10 o'clock tonight. Then isolated showers possible in the overnight hours. A nice sunny, quiet day for tomorrow, which is basically the calm before the storm because we have very heavy rain coming up. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit, but your 24-hour forecast is brought to you by Fifth Avenue Volkswagen. Find more than what you're expecting at Fifth Avenue Volkswagen. Cam?
Danielle, thank you. The fire department says a gas-burning generator in the garage is to blame for a deadly carbon monoxide incident. One male died at a home in Martindale, and a second male was rushed to hospital yesterday afternoon. Firefighters found dangerously high readings of carbon monoxide in the house. Police say foul play is not suspected. Fire officials say there appear to be no working carbon monoxide detectors in the home. Just before 3 this afternoon, carbon monoxide alarms went off inside the East Village Superstore, forcing 150 people out. Responding firefighters measured the odorless gas at 50 parts per million, which can be harmful. The elevated levels were due to a compressor and idling trucks in the closed underground garage. Calgary has fallen in an annual list of best places to live in the world. Jordan Canagan is in the southeast with more. Jordan, what are the reasons our city slipped in the rankings?
Well, Camilla, it's a yearly list compiled by the Economist's Intelligence Unit, and it shows that Calgary went from 5th in the world last year up down to 18th this year. In fact, the group of all of the cities the group looks at, Calgary fell the most year to year. It looks at 5 categories and compiles data on stability, healthcare, culture and environment, education, and infrastructure. Copenhagen, Vienna, and Zurich took the top 3 worldwide spots. Calgary saw a decline in its healthcare score, which considers quality of public care and availability of private options. The EIU says all Canadian cities are seeing strains in the healthcare system. Groups in Calgary say the city is still doing well in most other categories.
We know we have the most affordability in all of Canada from major Canadian cities with the type of economic opportunity we have, and the quality of life is amazing. And so I think we need to keep that top of mind and not, be too discouraged by one ranking that this year has evaluated us a little bit differently.
Now, Vancouver was the only Canadian city to crack the top 10. Meantime, Toronto fell in 16th. Camilla?
Jordan, thank you. Some of the Albertans who worked at the G7 summit are looking back at the highly secure event winds down. Graham Sherman and his son Hugh of Toolshed Brewing and Barbecue were tapped to cook for the international guests. He calls the experience surreal. Sherman says he can't be certain if the U.S. president ate his barbecue, but he does claim Donald Trump loved having a shrimp cocktail, ice cream, and spaghetti and meatballs on hand. The Secret Service kept a close eye on the chefs.
At 4 o'clock in the morning, when I'm just about ready, with the barbecue, and I'm testing 2 different portions of ribs against each other to see which are the best for this event, and a gentleman walks up and says, "Are you tasting those right now? I want a rib." And you look over, and it's the Secret Service. It's just, you just say that's fake. There's no way that's real.
All G7 airspace restrictions are now lifted, and the controlled access zone around Kananaskis Village ends tonight. Another housing project is getting underway, this time in the southeast. 230 townhomes will be built on a former school site east of Max Bell Center. There will also be a fenced-off leash dog park and basketball courts. A third of the townhomes will have 5 bedrooms, which developers say there's growing demand for.
New Calgarians, first-time home buyers, had mom and dad in the unit, a couple of kids in a bedroom, mom and dad in the basement. Perfect multi-generational living. We see that that's going to be a driver here, and those are the types of families we're going to be able to sell to at this project.
The first families are expected to move in at the start of 2026. The project is a collaboration between Calgary Municipal Land Corporation and Attainable Homes Calgary. Well, they're small, sneaky, and showing up in Calgary yards. Voles are back, leaving homeowners dealing with the damage. The tiny rodents tunnel under lawns, chewing through grass roots and garden plants. They leave zigzag patterns and dead patches in their wake. To keep them under control, experts say keep lawns short, remove leaf litter, and avoid bird feeders, which attract the small rodents. Setting up bait stations around your property is also recommended to get ahead of the problem.
The product we use is a dehydrating product. So it makes them tired and lethargic for about 2-3 days, depending on their size and weight. And after that, they're going to keel over. They're going to die. And the good news is you're not going to see hundreds and hundreds of dead rodents on your property because they will be dying underground.
Experts also recommend not fertilizing your lawn past the first week of July if you can. Keeping grass naturally dormant will shorten the feeding season for voles. Well, still to come, a warning about criminals who are not who they say they are and scamming Calgarians out of tens of thousands of dollars with just a phone call. And the young Calgarian inspired by his mother's medical condition to prevent genetic disorders. Calgary police are warning the public about financial scams involving people posing as officers or bank employees. There have been more than 30 reports of Calgarians receiving calls from people impersonating officers this year. Victims have lost more than $43,000 combined. The fraudsters are making the caller ID appear as Calgary police or a Calgary police phone number. Police say they will never call or email and ask for financial information or money.
If the person identifies them as a police officer, it's okay to ask them what's their full name, what's their badge number, where do they work, what is the case number that's associated with, and ask them to call them back. Then they can actually call the non-emergency line at 266-1234. They can call and speak to an operator there, emergency officer there, and just confirm all that data and information, and then call that person back.
For more information about which cases of fraud should be reported to police and which should go through the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre, head to our website, ctvnews.ca/Calgary. Calgary Fire is investigating a building fire in the Foothills Industrial Park. It happened just before 7:30 this morning on 35th Street Southeast. Fire trucks were at the scene for most of the morning. No word yet on the extent of damage or the potential cause. Let's bring in Danielle once again. Look at the weather, and you were mentioning lots of rain headed our way.
A huge bout of rain, like potentially flooding rain on the way for Calgary and many other communities in southern Alberta later this week. This is a tricky thing to forecast. I'm going to talk more about that in just a second, but Skywatch weather showing you that we have really nice weather in Calgary. Today's been okay considering what's going on elsewhere, and we'll talk about elsewhere and the thunderstorm risk, but Calgary is under a severe thunderstorm watch because there is potential for some severe development over these next couple of hours. 21 is the temperature in Calgary, 15 in Banff, and some heat going on in Milk River, Medicine Hat, Brooks, 27 degrees, and Lethbridge sitting at 28. So that southeast corner quite warm once again. Okay, looking closer to home here, 21 degrees downtown and in Bragg Creek and at the airport, Windsport at 20 and Strathmore sitting at 21. Get your daily dose of greens at Serenity Golf Club, just 20 minutes east of Calgary. Okay, let's talk about the first story here, which is the severe thunderstorm watch in place, all in yellow. So this goes from Claresholm, Lomond, Medicine Hat, Calgary, yes, included in this, and up. And you can see this spot right here where we actually have a warning because this is where we do have a cell that is likely generating some larger size hail. So here's this line of storms, but it's the one at the bottom here that is causing the concern. So just north of Bassano here, this is purple you can see in the cell here. This is what is likely producing up to 2-knee size hail. Huge downpours with this as well. Hutton, Mallow, anything along Highway 6 just north of Dutchess is where we could see that cell move in. It may die out before it gets there, but heads up. Hail is possible, larger size hail, and very strong wind gusts with this. For Calgary, we have nothing tracking towards us right now, but you can see development to the west, a lot of it not gaining enough steam, but there is the potential. So any storm that you see approaching, definitely take that seriously. Okay, longer term picture here. This is what we're looking at. And you can see we have one system here, and they're starting to combine. And that will make it a more intense system. This is also a slow mover. So we have lots of rain, too much rain, in fact, likely in the forecast with this next one. So I'm going to play through for tonight. Basically, by 9 o'clock, we're done with the risk of thunderstorms in Calgary, but to the north up the QE2, we do still have that potential even through much of the overnight hours. Calgary in the overnight hours, maybe a couple isolated showers. To the south, this is tomorrow. Tomorrow is basically the calm before the storm, and this is a look at Friday. Friday, we're looking at the rain starting in the morning, and I'm just going to play this through here so you can get an idea. This will be intense, widespread, long-term rainfall. These amounts here are showing you the higher amounts that are actually possible with this. Again, this is a hard system to forecast because they're merging. 22 degrees, mainly sunny, so a quiet day for tomorrow. Summer officially begins on Friday. 10 to 20 millimeters of rain and just a high of 14. But check out Saturday, 50 to 75 millimeters of rain in Calgary is possible, which is a high of 10, and the rain will continue in through Sunday and Monday, and we could pick up another 5 to 10 on Sunday and another few on Monday.
A 16-year-old Calgarian is on a mission to prevent genetic disorders. Logan Seirs is enrolled in the Knowledge Society, where he's working on genetic editing that would prevent a variety of genetic disorders. Logan's mom was born with one kidney. She's in hospital now because that kidney stopped working in 2019. Logan says the science behind genetic mutations is advancing by the minute. And while science can't prevent his mother's illness, he's looking for a way to correct those mutations in newborns.
Most sciences, like chemistry, you know a reaction is going to happen how it happens. Biology, you do not know it's going to happen how it happens. So getting to test that and then proving it wrong, or proving that it has like 7 different ways it could happen, 8 sequences, it could have different results, finding variants like that and then knowing how to manipulate it just through testing, it's one of the most beautiful things.
Logan says he wasn't even interested in biology a year ago, but after joining the Knowledge Society, he's passionate about it and spends every waking moment learning and testing theories. Just ahead, have a gently used handbag that you're not getting much use of these days? Well, we know exactly where it could go, and in turn help women sport a new look while lifting their spirits. U.S. Federal Reserve. Joining me is Robert Geary, investment advisor with the Popwich-Carmali Advisory Group. So, Robert, how did markets do today and on the Reserve's decision not to cut U.S. interest rates?
Yeah, I think this was an interesting one, Camilla, because the market was fairly risk on at the start of trading today. There was no major concerns other than what's happening overseas. There's still some concerns there. We saw that in the price of oil and the U.S. Treasuries today. But when the U.S. Fed made their decision here at noon local time, we did see some movement in the market, and the Dow started to come off at that point in time. So the markets did come off at that point. And I think there's a reason being that Jerome Powell made the decision, obviously, to hold rates, but it was in the commentary that he was saying, hey, we could get some stagflation here on the in the market. He's saying that, hey, they're bringing down their expectation for GDP, for economic growth, but they're expecting especially goods prices to go up, especially during the summertime. So that word stagflation comes in, kind of spooked the market a little bit on this. Still expecting 2 cuts this year. We'll have to wait and see. I think a lot of this commentary is going to be pushed to September.
And new data on Canada's population.
Yeah, this is the new immigration rules, especially on temporary residents here, especially to students. But it has driven the StatCan's report here in the first quarter to 0 population growth for Canada. And that hasn't been seen since 2014 on a quarterly basis. So I think that this is an interesting stat to continue to look at, because there's 2 things that can happen here in the short term. it's going to hurt universities. Obviously, there's a lot of temporary workers that are residents that can't come in on that piece. And on the other side of it, we do need population growth going forward for that aging population that we have. So I think with the unemployment rate short term, this is not a bad news piece, but they need to get this aligned for consistency moving forward. And I think that's what Carney is trying to do, but it's pretty drastic here in the short term.
Robert, thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Gas prices are expected to rise as the conflict in the Mideast escalates. Here's Ian White with a look ahead to CTV News at 6.
Camilla, Gas Buddy predicts prices could go up around 10 cents a litre over the next week or two. Energy prices are also being impacted by trade war uncertainty. We'll have that side of the story coming up at 6. Also ahead, a Calgarian shares their story about falling for a financial scam. It's the one involving people posing as police officers or bank employees. We'll see you at 6. Camilla?
Ian, thank you so much. Hundreds of handbags have been donated to the Women in Need Society through a Mother's Day campaign. The charity asks for gently used handbags filled with unopened hygiene items and everyday necessities. And so far, more than 500 bags have been collected. The fundraiser is a way to provide support and a sense of dignity to the people they help.
We do a lot of employment training here at WINS, and we prepare people for interviews. And I think giving somebody an opportunity to have a handbag and walk into an interview instantly gives an extra confidence. It gives some extra empowerment for the women that we serve.
The Women in Need Society is still collecting handbags. They hope to collect about 800 by the end of the year. Okay, we have some thunderstorm activity around Calgary. Calgary itself, we are so far, avoiding the storms. We're sitting at 21 degrees, partly cloudy. Danielle has details next. No thunderstorms here, but east of Bassano.
Yep, that's where we have a cell going on right now, larger size hail. And with this wave of storms that will be up Highway 36, tornadic activity is possible. Definitely ones to take seriously. Get indoors. Okay, 21 degrees in Calgary, 22 was our high. We're basically where we should be temperature-wise for this time of year. Tomorrow, a stunning day. Get out, enjoy it as best as you possibly can, or even just looking out your work window. Because after that, as you can see, much cooler, and the rain will be quite heavy at times, especially on Saturday, where that day alone we could see 75 millimeters of rain. So flooding, localized flooding is definitely the potential for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Danielle, thank you. A new exhibit has opened at Head Smashed in Buffalo Jump. The diorama at the World Heritage Site west of Fort Macleod depicts the buffalo hunt. It was developed with guidance from Pagani elders and explores the spiritual and cultural significance of the hunt. The exhibit is a gift thanks to the partnership between the Canadian Museum of History and Head Smashed in Buffalo Jump, which, if you have not been out to that area, it is as stunning as that video depicts, especially on a sunny day. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.